Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb and Boko Haram in Nigeria have led to the death of thousands, destruction of communities, and has tested the abilities of government forces. The armies of affected countries are therefore seeking better ways of fighting the threats through a joint, united front.
Combating the menace of Boko Haram and other violent extremist organizations will require collaborative efforts. Therefore, our collective action and inaction will have an impact on our efforts to ensure safety and stability to our individual countries.
For the U.S. Army Command in Africa, supporting these military services to succeed is important because security challenges in one part of the world is a threat to others.
No, we're all concerned as anyone would be with respect to attacks from violent extremist organizations. And so again, for the United States, we're interested in supporting our partner nations to securing their borders, to enabling stability within their country themselves.
Areas of collaboration include improved sub-regional task forces, strategy formulation, peace support operations, and information and experience sharing.
I urge other sub-regional and regional countries to emulate the template of the multinational joint task force and apply it as appropriate.
We have been in most African countries where there have been peacekeeping operations for a long time, so working together and with this kind of partnership, we can bring peace.
The representatives of over 40 African countries gathered here hope that the strategies and partnerships formulated here will not only bring peace to Africa, but to the rest of the world. AIT News, Abuja.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, says government has embarked on massive human capacity development to reposition the Air Force to adequately deal with emerging security challenges in the country. The Air Chief was speaking at the winging ceremony of 12 Nigerian Air Force and 2 Liberian Armed Forces students pilots in Abuja. He said the Air Force has, in the last 3 years, projected air power positively, both within and outside Nigeria.
With other security agencies in the northeast of our country to deal with the Boko Haram terrorist threat to our national security. Our forces are equally in the northwestern part of the country, south-south, and the north-central regions of the country.
It is important to remind you that this marks the beginning of another chapter of your career as young officers in the Nigerian Air Force and the Armed Forces of Liberia, as the case may be.
The Liberian Minister of National Defense, Major General Daniel Ziankan, appreciated Nigeria's assistance in training its airmen, expressing hope that the bilateral relations between the two countries will continue.
A number of platforms for the Air Force. For us to have these platforms flying, we have to train pilots. This is the first time in about 18 years that we are acquiring 6 brand new helicopter gunships for the Air Force.
They are going to be the trailblazer for our air wings or our Air Force. As I speak, Liberia does not have an Air Force.
Sadiq Abubakar urged the newly winged pilots to be prepared to face the task ahead. 4 years after the abduction of over 200 schoolgirls in Chibok, Borno State, 2 opposition parties, the Democratic People's Congress (DPC) and the Labour Party, have scored the current administration low for not being able to recover all the girls. The parties at different briefings in Abuja say the recent abduction of schoolgirls in Dapchi shows that government schools in Nigeria are still under threat.
The APC should not be painting it as if it's a big deal for them to go and bring Chibok's girl back to Nigeria. That's not a big deal. It's a primary assignment of any government in power. So which any government in power will do and do it properly without even making noise about it.
The government underrated the strength of Boko Haram. No proper security investigation. So by the time Boko Haram properly grouped themselves together, it took Nigeria unawares. And that is the lesson of security which Nigerians should learn. Don't take any insurgency for granted because they can spin a surprise. And more so that we didn't investigate, Nigeria didn't investigate from where this insurgency was coming off. So that's a lesson we must learn.
Nigerians to shun debate on President Buhari's re-election bid and to prepare to vote candidates with the right leadership qualities in 2019.
Within the span of 3-4 years, and he discovered that he could not make it. That does not stop him from recontesting. He could still try his luck. If Nigerians feel he's qualified or is acceptable to them, they elect him. If we feel he's no longer acceptable, we reject him at the poll.
Buhari has the right to contest for second time. But to us, they should look very well if Buhari has really given them anything. Buhari government has nothing to offer. It has not offered Nigerians.
The 2019 elections have thrown up a series of debates on who should we vote for the various positions, and 28 persons have already declared interest in the presidency. The joint health sector unions in all federal health institutions across Nigeria are to begin an indefinite strike on Wednesday, April 17, following the expiration of a 30-day ultimatum to government over non-implementation of several agreements. Among the union's demands are the upward adjustment of consolidated health workers' salary structure and upward review of retirement age to 65 years. The workers staged a rally in Abuja and called for intervention of President Muhammadu Buhari.
That Joesu is asking for equality with doctors. Is that the correct position? So, doctors say if we are given review, they should also ask for their own review. And the ministry has keyed into that to deny us our right. Section 42 of the Trade Unions Act gives you right to picket anybody. And it added, there is no law in this country that can try you for picketing. I'm sure nobody at this point in time will be afraid of the clause, no work, no pay. Agreement they said will be completed or fulfilled in 5 weeks. This is 6 months and it's still counting. And the government has not done anything. How many workers government go kill? How many workers government go dismiss?
Chairman of the National Hospital Board, Reporter-AIT, appealed to the workers to consider the demands of other sectors and the constraints of government.
Appeal. Because if you say you want to go on strike now, and every hospital must be shut down and everybody should go home and they should not operate. I don't know. I may have some family somewhere in the hospital. You may have, and it's going to affect everybody. There are so many issues, there are so many ways we can go on strike without closing down all the hospitals. And you know what it means.
The workers have asked states and local government health centers to be ready to join the action if there is no positive response from the government. You're watching AIT Reports. We'll go on a break, and when we return, we'll bring you more. To stay.
The Nigeria of our dream, the Nigeria we need, is the united, indissoluble, and cohesive Nigeria, which guarantees equity, fairness, justice, and prosperity for its citizens. That is our focus on people, politics, and power. It is fresh, insightful, impactful. It's a must-watch. People, politics, and power on AIT.
The plan by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to prosecute a former Attorney General and Justice Minister, Mohammed Bello Adoke, over the Malabu oil deal may have collapsed. This follows a judgment by a federal high court in Abuja absolving him of criminal liability in his official functions as a public officer.
For about 20 years now, OPL 245, one of the most lucrative oil wells in Nigeria, has been enmeshed in controversy involving multinational companies, including Shell and ANI. The oil block was said to have been illegally awarded to Malibu Oil and Gas by the late military head of state, Sani Abacha. It was later revoked by successive administration of Olusegun Obasanjo, leading to series of litigations. All the parties eventually opted for a settlement following protracted legal issues and court decisions. The terms of settlement was eventually implemented by the Jonathan administration, which inherited the conflict. It involved the payment of $210 million signature bonus to the Nigerian government. The Buhari administration thought the Nigerian government could have gained more from the deal and began a criminal investigation against the former Attorney General. But in a civil suit, Adoke argued that he acted on executive directives and under the Public Officers Protection Act cannot be held personally accountable for carrying out presidential directives. In a judgment, Justice Binta Nyarko upheld the claims of Adoke. The judge relied on a letter addressed to the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and signed by the current Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. In the letter, Malami stated that the EFCC investigation and proof of evidence attached to the charge does not clearly reveal the case of fraud against Adoke, who acted, according to him, based on approvals of three successive presidents, Obasanjo, late Yaradua, and Jonathan.
If I am made to take out a lawful directive of my principal, lawful to the extent that my principal has no qualms or is exonerated of any wrongdoing, can the agent who carries out that lawful duty be imputed with wrongdoing? If the answer is in the negative, then I have no business being here. And the court looked at the documents, looked at the exhibits, and ruled in his favor.
The EFCC has yet to react to the judgment. Utuba Umaran, AIT News, Abuja.
Nigeria's Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, will need to consider launching a separate probe into the internally displaced persons contract scam at the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in which some of the agency's directors were indicted. The new initiative for credible leadership, which said this during a news conference in Abuja, alleged that the indicted directors were plotting to scuttle ongoing investigations by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
There's already destruction of facts and contents such that the entire exercise could be truncated simply on that account. Those under investigation are making spirited effort to link the current leadership to the crime they have committed in the hope that the administration will refrain from indicting itself. Our charge is that the chairman of NEMA board, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, must not cave in to the blackmail by the ex-NEMA DG and the director that have been indicted for fraudulent skimming of money belonging to Nigeria.
Asked the EFCC to ensure that all indicted persons are charged to court and convictions secured to act as deterrent to others who are sabotaging government's effort at improving the well-being of all internally displaced persons in IDP camps across the country.
National Crime Commission, EFCC, to get to the bottom of this theft of public resources. The anti-graft agency must ensure that its ongoing investigation does not end up as a media cycle in which hype dominates the media and public opinion spaces without an outcome that is beneficial to the anti-corruption war.
The group therefore wants the House of Representatives to allow the EFCC to carry out a thorough investigation of the matter without undue interference in the interest of Nigerians. The Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed May 14th to deliver judgment in a suit seeking to stop any move by the All Progressives Congress to extend the tenure of its national chairman, John Odigi-Oyego, and other elected officers of the party. Justice Nnamdi Dingba adjourned the matter after plaintiffs and defense counsel concluded an argument both in favor and against the suit. The National Executive Council of the APC had, at its meeting on February 27, announced a one-year tenure extension of the party's officials due to expire on June 30. Not satisfied with the NEC resolution, 4 APC members aspiring to run for leadership positions of the party filed a suit challenging the extension of the tenures of the incumbent holders of the executive offices of the party. At the hearing of the case before Justice Nnamdi Dingba on Monday, the plaintiff's counsel Ahmed Raji argued that the action of the party contravened Section 223 of the 1999 Constitution and asked the court to order that the party officials should vacate their offices on June 30, when their 4-year tenure will expire. But the lawyers representing the party and its national chairman asked the court to dismiss the suit for lack of merit, since the NEC of the party has since reversed the decision. A day after it released the composition of the Congress and Convention Planning Committee, the Chief John Oyegun-led National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has released dates for the holding of the Congresses and Convention. The state Congresses are to hold on Saturday, May